What's happening? So we are a design consortium. So we are architects. We are based in Baroda. We do projects primarily so far. I mean that way, obviously pan India, but so far our presence is in 4 states, including Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and Maharashtra, and also Congo. One can say, so to speak. When we say design consortium, we are a team of not just architects, but also structural engineers, mechanical, electricals, because we believe it's better to have a very consolidated design approach rather than having a fragmented one in order to create better harmony. Talking about when we were approached to talk about this, a month back, I was just thinking whether what should one talk about. One is obviously about the projects that you're doing. But also the thought is to talk about what we believe in, because those beliefs eventually build what we want to do eventually in our design. I don't know, am I pointing it correct or not? Oh yeah. So let's just talk about basic beliefs that we have, some buzzword keywords that we strive to emulate as quality in our design, in architecture. I say design because design contains everything, architecture, interior, and we tend to do all. So we wish to always strive to emulate these qualities. But talking about beliefs, I would like to go to one of a very small, it was part of Devdutt Patnaik, if you know, he's a mythologist, where he speaks about, since he's a management fundu, he talks about however your beliefs are is however your behavior is towards your business. And that holds true even in case of design. Based on the beliefs that you keep is the kind of behavior you have towards everything, the attitude you have towards craftsmen, attitude you have towards consultants, clients, everything else. So we try to keep our beliefs very strong. I think we moved very quickly, nonetheless. So just a picture for you to here look at. Everyone knows this is a concert hall to begin with. You see that person who's highlighted. Does anybody know what the person is called generally? A conductor, right? He's an orchestra conductor. So in order to bring parallels and beliefs that we have, we tend to see a parallel between either filmmaking or form of art in terms of music as well, where designers tend to be the directors, where there are so many key players. How we have for director, this producer, actors, audience to begin with, DOPs. We have to deal with everyone to begin with. I'm trying to define it so that it becomes easier for us to define a role, because it tends to go wavering this time. Talking about the kind of generation we live in right now, whether it's from a client if we are talking about, or if we are talking about even designers, this is a Pinterest generation we tend to call. They always tend to have a preconceived idea of what the design should look like. So left is the images, generally what a non-designer looks at, but there are, obviously the room would agree, there are too many things at play when we talk about the actual design of anything, whether it's interior architecture. So if you have to define architecture, by definition it's defined as art and science of the designing and building and structures. But come to think of it, there was architecture without architects, right? Way back during Mohenjo-daro, way back when there were underground villages in China, Machu Picchu, even Jantar Mantar for that matter, way before us. But what was the main thing that kept the architecture going and inspired generations after? Is that they were governed by 4 things. 1, logic. 2, a purpose. 3, they were very functional. And 4th, they always had a sense of awe so as to inspire everyone ahead and the generations to go on further. But going back to the definition, it talks about that it's defined as art and science. But art tends to be, I always say that swanta sukha, it's for your own happiness. Not so much with the case of architecture, it's for paranta sukha, someone else's happiness. So while you are working with someone else's happiness, you're working for someone else's happiness, you need to have certain set of values that we tend to have, that it should be logical, purposeful, functional. It needs validation end of the day, unlike art. But at the same time, it's not subjective, so one has to be as precise as possible. Talking quickly about just 4 projects in the descending order in terms of the scale that they are. There's a project called Aditya Birla Power Composites Limited. It was a JV between Aditya Birla and MR Group of creating a new facility in Halol near Baroda. So that's the first phase that you can see on the right side. That's the major chunk that happened. The PEB here, I think, was done by Kirby, if I'm not wrong. So that's the first phase that you look at. The point is, nonetheless. So as you can see, the PEB shed is about 50 by 125 meter. And the administration was actually a result of the margins that one has to leave from the highway. And lucky for us to begin with, it also faced north. So while going further, when you see the language, that's the plan of the building, admin building, which is just the first phase. The second phase comes a little bit later on. It's ground plus first. This is the facility behind it, which is primarily in PEB. As I said, they produce composite insulators, and yeah, that's the final product. And luckily, as I said, that it was a northwest facing building, so it helped us give the kind of look that the new JV wanted to have as a presence in India. And we were able to deliver that just post-pandemic, so kudos to everyone involved in it. That's few of the images inside, interiors of it, and the final facility. Quickly going through Collimark, another project. That's a Proflex structure. Again, a very basic. Yeah, again a very basic thought of having an entire structure behind and an admin ahead, because that's most of the time what happens when a package of new industry blows up somewhere or the other. That's what it looks like. Again, luckily, in this case also, we had a north face building. So in order to bring in maximum amount of light, we tried to do that. The south had the louvers, where we planned completely out of RCC, made out of steel to begin with in terms of the shuttering for it. That's few of the, again, the louvers that we spoke about, few of the images which are talking about the project. A smaller project, a boutique project in Baroda, talking about a boutique farmhouse. Yeah, so that's what the farmhouse is like. It's about 52,000 square feet of land, and currently we are dealing with this area. In this property to begin with, we have lot of things, but talking very quickly about, because I'm running out of time, is this nice little property which is like a weekend stay. Here again, steel is a main component, because we will see in the image ahead that some of the overhangs were about 15 feet, and we didn't want to show any beams, etc. So I think PTS I did the. So these are some of the drone shots, visual. It's still ongoing. It's still going on, but as you can see, that's one of the overhang. It's going very quickly to begin with. I'm not handling it. And that's the last one. So as to wrap it up, it's a father's residence. It's an ongoing campus project in Banswara, Rajasthan for Don Bosco. So that's the master plan as we look at. And that's the father's residence, which currently we'll be talking about. The rest of the campus, I'm not sure we have the time to talk about. Just a minute. That's the ground floor. Again here, the idea was to keep building as breathable as possible, because the surroundings and the context is wonderful, and we wanted to bring in all possible natural air and the building to be as ventilated as possible. The central courtyard. These are some of the section to understand the volume of it. And we are yet to shoot the building yet, because it's still in the completion phase, but that's what it has just the last week's photo to begin with. And just to wrap it up, since we are talking about steel, so steel has always made its way just for exteriors earlier, but now also in the interiors, where we try to either do a very simple box section in order to get clean lines for a bookshelf, to racking system in retails, etc. To even we did a prefabricated racking system design which had to be shipped to Congo eventually, because there was always a problem there in Congo for better craftsmanship, etc. So we designed it here, get it fabricated, and those were shipped to Democratic Republic Congo for a client. And again, there's very small things, like this is also another multi-purpose rack that we designed for the same project that you saw earlier. And it's part of the interior now. It has a PVD coating. So metal has found its way always to, that's again the same project earlier, where we use their insulators in order to make literally something to exemplify the joint venture between two companies. And a lot of metal was used, by the way, just to support these insulators as well. And another small demonstration of how we have always tried to use metal. Since we are talking about steel construction summit, we wanted to keep it about that. Okay, that's about it. I think I'm already too late. Thank you very much for listening.